Alright, Food Deserts in Our Society by me, Austin Kerr, Louis Narducci, and Jake Armstrong. Now, the USDA defines food deserts as parts of our country vapid of fresh fruits, vegetables, and other wholesome, healthy foods. And these are usually found in impoverished areas and is largely due to a lack of grocery stores, farmer markets, and other healthy food providers. So now for an area to be classified as a food desert, if at least 500 people, or at least 33% of the census tract population, resides more than a mile from a supermarket. Now for rural areas, this changes and the census tract must live more than 10 miles from a supermarket. So if you take approximately 23.5 US citizens that live in food deserts, and then you divide the US population of 325.7 million by the 23.5 million that live in US food deserts, you can see that about 14% of our population lives in food deserts. This is a large number, especially for a country so large. So that just shows how much of our country is affected by such a vast issue. So statistics show the population living in food deserts has less access to healthy foods. As a result, there's been an increase in health-related issues such as obesity and diabetes. So the USDA states that a lack of healthy options could lead the poor to diets and diet-related conditions such as obesity or diabetes. That directly shows how food deserts, that creates a lack of food and healthy food options, that directly relates to food health-related issues that are being caused. So these graphs up here are provided by the U.S. Department of Agriculture and is from the Food Atlas. Now, the two graphs on the left show food deserts and where they are generally located in our country, and as you can see, it takes up a vast majority of our country. And the two graphs on the right show obesity and diabetes. And you can see the correlation between where food deserts are for the majority and where these health-related diseases are being caused.
Right, so our first solution was mobile grocery stores, and these can be from anything like a truck in the picture or just a farmer's market that's set up once a month, as long as they're not always available for the population. And you can see in the picture, they're not super complicated, like very simple, just a few boxes full of fresh foods. And probably the biggest pro for these mobile grocery stores are the mobility. Saturdays they can be Food Desert A, and then on a Sunday they can be Food Desert B, which allows them to reach a larger part of the population. And this also allows the owner of that food truck to always be in a spot where he can be selling his food, so he's not wasting his time, his money, selling and where nobody's going to buy it. This leads into the next pro, which is affordability. These trucks, farmers markets are a lot cheaper to maintain than a traditional brick and mortar store, and this really helps, especially because in these poorer communities, not a lot is being bought very often. So the more they can save money, the better. And food trucks or farmers markets, they really run off low employees, so you don't have to pay people as much. And the next pro would be availability, but this can also be seen as a con. The availability, food trucks can be where they are needed. They're always available, like if you're in a complex, they can be outside that complex. But this can also be a con. They're not always there for people to be buying from them. A limitation definitely is their small size. They can't hold a lot of food, they don't have a lot of selection, and there's not really any place you can go. You can always get a bigger truck, but you can't go so far with that. And some implications would be Trustees Mobile Farmers Market, Mobile Market, and Arcadia Mobile Market. They're all buses, tractors, they're tractor trailers, things that are mobile and they can buy food from. So this leads to the next solution, which would be to grow your own food. And this is pretty self-explanatory, and you can see in the picture that these people are growing them on the side of a road, right? Anywhere you can find a good spot to plant. So a big pro of this is it's low cost. You know, you're farming your own food. You're not buying from somebody else. Furthermore, that you have like a kind of personal connection to that food. If you're growing your own food and then you're eating it, you know, it's like you have a connection. And then you control what you grow. If you really like tomatoes, you can grow tomatoes and you don't have to grow so many. If you really hate blueberries, you don't grow that many blueberries. Cons, definitely environmental factors. If there's a drought, no rain, that can really hurt your crops. It's time consuming, you're growing your own food, and it requires skill. You know, people have to know how to grow their own food. It takes a lot of time. That can definitely hurt it. Limitations, land availability, and again, the environmental factors. Living in the desert, it's much harder to grow food than if you're living somewhere where it's more fertile. Some implications of this: Reverend Richard Joyner and Ron Finley. These are both people on opposite sides of the spectrum. Richard Joyner lives in a rural area, so he had a lot of fields that he could grow his food on, and these were large areas full of food. While in the picture you saw earlier was a Ron Finley. He lives in a very urban area, and his food, all his crops were grown in small areas like the sides of roads, in front of lawns, or in front of houses and backyards. So really different challenges they faced, but they still got the same result by growing their own food.
All right, in conclusion, we believe that food deserts have a major impact on the society and our health and can be caused by the economy. So food deserts have a major effect on the society because it forces residents in a food desert to travel miles away from their homes just to get basic nutritional needs. Now, most of these residents can't afford to drive that extra mile, and so they are forced to either like buy from fast food restaurants or convenience stores. And so, so people in these societies have recognized the problems and have begun coming up with solutions like Lewis talked about, the mobile grocery store and growing your own food. Now, food deserts can be caused by the economy because if a society is a majority of low income, then they suffer more of the effects of a food desert. So people who can't afford that healthier food, they have to settle for that unhealthy food from fast food restaurants and stuff like that. And so this is also because supermarket chains, they don't place their stores in low-income neighborhoods because they know that they can't afford it. So they place their stores in higher income areas, and because they know they can buy their products. And so food deserts also have a major effect on our health because people who keep buying that unhealthy food are diagnosed with diabetes or obesity, and that's caused mostly because of their lack of nutrition in their diet. Now, our group came up with two solutions: the mobile grocery store and growing your own food. We believe that the mobile grocery store is the best solution for this problem, only because it is available, mobile, and affordable. Thank you.
Okay, guys, I got a couple of questions for you. Let's see. Let's start with Austin, and we'll just work our way across. Austin, so describe how the content of the presentation here was created as a result of your group discussion. Tell us a little bit about how that went.
Okay, so we all three had different papers ranging in many different parts of food deserts. Mine was focused on the economy, so it was focused mainly on what causes food deserts, while theirs focused more on the implications and what food deserts cause in our society. And so when we came together, we decided we wanted to focus mainly on the causes, what it causes for people, instead of how they were created. So we took the majority of their papers, we combined those, and we took some facts from mine relating to how they're created, and to decide that this is our problem. Now, how are we going to fix that?
Okay, Lewis, let's see. How did the group decide to include or exclude Jake's perspective lens research from the presentation? Like when you guys talked about his, how did you make the decision about how to use this?
Well, Jake had a scientific lens, so a large part of, since our presentation was mostly based on solutions and there was a tiny bit based on causes, like Austin said. I would say like a little bit of his presentation, or his paper was in our presentation, because for the solutions, we took a lot from like my lens, which was social and ethical. So, yeah, so we didn't include much of his because it was scientific based on, and he was looking at like the facts and the effects of food deserts. So that didn't really fit in a lot with our paper, but as you can see in the end, in the conclusion, there was a large majority of his, and as well as in the beginning.
Okay, and then finally, Jake, how did the group, no, let me change that, sorry. Give one specific way in which your thinking changed as a result of Austin's research. So how did Austin's research change how you thought about the problem?
Well, Austin's research was the economy, and so like I didn't really think about the affordability of that healthier food. I just thought like you just go to the grocery store and you buy food, but I didn't realize that those people with not enough money can't afford that food, and so I think like that I talked about the economy a lot in my presentation because I felt like it was an important fact of why food deserts like really exist. And
thanks, Dad. Okay, everybody put your finishing touches on your score sheet. Make sure you've scored every line of the rubric for them and given them some